Picture this. 10 years from today, you wake up and check your brokerage account. There it is. Another $3,000 in dividend payments, hitting your account like clockwork. Every single month. You're 10 years away from traditional retirement age, but you already don't need your job. Sounds like fantasy, right? Here's what nobody tells you about retirement. The whole system is built on a lie. This idea that you need millions saved up, that you have to wait until 65, that only trust fund kids can escape the rat race early. But there's a group of investors quietly using a completely different playbook. They're not trying to hit home runs with the next Tesla. They're building what I call dividend machines, portfolios that print money whether the market goes up, down, or sideways. And the craziest part? Some are starting from absolute zero. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how this works, including the specific ETFs that are making this possible right now, the math that Wall Street doesn't want you to see, and the acceleration technique that can cut your timeline in half. You need to talk about why everything you've been told about retirement is backwards. See, traditional retirement planning says accumulate a huge nest egg, then live off 4% withdrawals. That means you need $900,000 saved just to generate $36,000 a year. For most people, that's a 30-year project. But dividend investing flips the script completely. Instead of selling assets to live, you're building an income engine. The principal stays untouched while the dividends flow forever. No market timing, no withdrawal stress, just pure passive income streams. Let me tell you about Harry. 5 years ago, Harry was staring at his 401k statement, doing the depressing math. At his current savings rate, he'd retire at 67 if he was lucky. He had exactly $0 in his brokerage account and a decent but not spectacular job making $65,000 a year. Today, he's halfway to complete financial independence, not through crypto, not through some side hustle guru course, through the most boring, predictable strategy imaginable, dividend ETFs. Here's the first thing Harry learned that changed everything. When you reinvest dividends in your first few years, something magical happens. It's not just compound interest, it's compound income. Every dividend payment buys more shares, which pay more dividends, which buy more shares. It's a snowball that starts invisible but becomes unstoppable. And Harry found his first snowflake in an ETF most people ignore. SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. This isn't some risky high-yield trap. We're talking about a fund holding dividend aristocrats like Chevron at 4.36%, PepsiCo at 4.20%, and AbbVie at 4.17%. Companies that have raised their dividends for over a decade straight. Current yield, 3.67%. That might not sound earth-shattering, but here's what makes SCHD special. That dividend has grown 10.87% annually over 5 years. Harry's not just collecting income, he's collecting income that grows faster than inflation. Investment portfolio building isn't about finding the highest yield. It's about finding sustainable, growing income streams. Let's do the real math that nobody shows you. Harry started investing $500 a month into SCHD. Just $500, less than many people's car payments. Year 1, $6,000 invested, about $220 in dividends. Year 2, $12,000 invested, about $450 in dividends. Seems small, right? But here's what happened when Harry reinvested those dividends. That $220 from year 1 bought 8 more shares. Those 8 shares generated their own dividends. The compound effect had begun. Most people quit here. They see $450 a year and think, this will take forever. Harry saw something different. He saw a machine being built, gear by gear. Because here's what wealth building really looks like. You don't put all your eggs in one basket, even a good basket. Enter Harry's second position, VNQ, the Vanguard Real Estate Index Fund. This is where things get interesting. VNQ holds REITs, companies legally required to pay out 90% of their income as dividends. Current yield, 3.82%. We're talking about ownership in everything from cell towers with American Tower to data centers with Equinix. Different sector, different income stream, same snowball effect. But VNQ serves another purpose in Harry's plan. Real estate dividends often move opposite to traditional stocks. When SCHD might struggle, VNQ often thrives. Harry's not just building income, he's building stable, diversified income. The fund has been paying dividends for 19 consecutive years. Through the 2008 crisis, through COVID, the checks kept coming. By year 3, with both ETFs working together, Harry's annual dividend income crossed $1,500. Still not retirement money, but something beautiful was happening. The dividends were starting to buy meaningful amounts of new shares themselves. This is the tipping point most people never reach because they give up too soon. They don't understand that years 1 to 3 are about building the foundation. Years 4 to 7 are where the acceleration happens. Years 8 to 10? That's when you become unstoppable. And that's when Harry discovered the ETF that would accelerate everything. DIV, the Global X Super Dividend USETF. Now, this is where we need to talk about intelligent risk-taking. DIV yields 6.51%, almost double SCHD. But there's a catch, it's riskier. The dividend has actually declined 5.93% annually over 5 years. The fund holds different types of companies, shipping companies like Global Ship Lease, tobacco giants like Altria. Most advisors would say avoid it. Harry said something different. This is my accelerator, not my foundation. He allocated just 20% of his portfolio to DIV, using that massive yield to supercharge his reinvestment rate while SCHD and VNQ provided stability. Think of it like a barbell strategy: safe, growing dividends on one side, high-yield rocket fuel on the other. The result? By year 5, Harry's annual dividend income jumped to $4,800. That's $400 a month. Enough to cover groceries, or utilities, or to reinvest even more aggressively. But here's where Harry made his smartest move yet. Instead of lifestyle inflation, every raise, every bonus, every tax refund went straight into the dividend machine. His salary increased to $72,000, but he kept living on $65,000. That extra $7,000 a year, straight into dividends. He also started a simple freelance gig, just 5 hours a week doing consulting in his field, adding another $500 monthly to his investments. Now he's investing $1,000 a month, and the snowball became an avalanche. This is where compound interest stops being a concept and becomes a force of nature. Year 6 projection, $8,000 in annual dividends. Year 7, $12,000. Year 8, $17,000. But Harry knew he needed balance. High yields are tempting, but stability wins long-term. So he added NOBL, the ProShares S and P 500 Dividend Aristocrats ETF. This fund only holds companies that have increased dividends for 25-plus consecutive years. We're talking about businesses like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and Johnson & Johnson. Companies that raise dividends through recessions, pandemics, and wars. Yield, 2.05%. Lower than others, but with rock-solid stability and 8.84% annual dividend growth over 10 years. Think of NOBL as portfolio insurance. When markets crash, these companies keep paying. When others cut dividends, these raise them. Harry allocated 15% here, not for the yield today, but for the reliability tomorrow. His final position surprised me when he told me about it. NewDV, the Nuveen ESG Dividend ETF. Yield, 5.47%. But that's not why Harry bought it. He bought it because of one stunning number: 107.99% dividend growth in the past year. The dividend literally doubled. Now that's not normal or sustainable. But it shows what happens when you find ETFs in transformation. NUDV is capturing the shift to sustainable investing while maintaining serious income. Holdings include Bank of America at 3.13%, Procter & Gamble at 3.10%, and IBM at 2.40%. Harry keeps this at 10% of his portfolio, small enough to manage risk, large enough to matter if the growth continues. Let's look at Harry's complete 5 ETF dividend machine. 30% SCHD, stable growth, 3.67% yield. 25% VNQ, real estate income, 3.82% yield. 20% DIV, yield accelerator, 6.45% yield. 15% NOBL, aristocrat stability, 2.05% yield. 10% NUDV, growth wildcard, 5.47% yield. Combined portfolio yield, approximately 4.2%. Now here's the acceleration secret nobody talks about. After year 5, Harry did something brilliant. He stopped reinvesting all his dividends automatically. Instead, he collected them in cash and waited for opportunities. When the market dipped 10%, he deployed that cash. When a quality dividend stock got unfairly punished, he pounced. This tactical reinvestment strategy boosted his returns by an estimated 15% versus blind reinvesting. By year 9, investing $1,000 monthly with smart dividend reinvestment, the projection shows $25,000 in annual dividend income. Year 10, over $35,000? That's $3,000 a month, every month, whether Harry works or not. And here's the beautiful part. He never has to sell a single share. The passive income is truly passive. The principal keeps growing while the income flows. At a 4.2% average yield, Harry's portfolio will be worth approximately $830,000. But unlike traditional retirement where you'd withdraw from this, Harry just collects the dividends while the $830,000 keeps growing. But let me be extremely clear about something. This isn't magic. Harry made sacrifices. He drove the same car for 7 years. He cooked instead of ordering DoorDash. He chose building wealth over appearing wealthy. The strategy requires discipline. When friends were buying new cars, Harry was buying more SCHD. When colleagues complained about being broke, Harry was quietly building his freedom fund. And the strategy isn't without risks. Dividends can be cut. DIV's dividend has declined before. Markets crash. REITs are interest rate sensitive. Tax-advantaged accounts matter. Dividends in taxable accounts create tax drag that you need to plan for. But here's what Harry figured out that most people don't. The biggest risk isn't market volatility or dividend cuts. The biggest risk is doing nothing. Every year you wait is a year of compound growth lost forever. The person who starts with $100 a month today will likely beat the person waiting to invest $1,000 a month when things are perfect. Because perfect never comes. Harry's now 5 years from his target. 5 years from complete freedom at age 45. Not because he inherited money or won the lottery. Because he understood one simple truth. Small actions compound into extraordinary results when you give them time. Financial planning isn't about perfection. It's about progress. So here's your choice. You can close this video, go back to hoping your 401k somehow delivers miracle returns, and retire when Social Security says you can. Or you can open a brokerage account today, even if you can only start with $50 a month. Even if SCHD is all you buy initially. Because in 10 years, you'll either have a dividend machine printing money every month, giving you the financial goals you dream about, or you'll have 10 years of excuses for why you never started. The compound effect doesn't care about your excuses. It only cares about time in the market. The clock's ticking. Your future self is waiting. What's it going to be?